Clark, who represents Kahira Jones, asked the three-judge panel to consider how the matter of witness availability would jeopardize the ability of Adidja Palmer, Sean Campbell, Andre St. John and his client to receive a fair retrial. The men's attorneys are urging the court to set them free in the interest of justice. Clark told the judges that witnesses may be unavailable, their memories may have become hazy, or they may be dead. He says such a possibility makes it undesirable to subject the men to a retrial. John Clark also warned that witnesses who have already testified and who now know what other witnesses said in 2014 may be influenced one way or another. The attorney says the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions has a burden to prove why, after the Privy Council had already explicitly said the men's right to a fair trial was breached, they should be subjected to another trial where there is a risk of similar breaches reoccurring. He says the prosecution has to justify why such a situation would be desirable. Clark maintained that the current justice system would likely subject the men to another unfair trial. He says the Constitution permits the men to approach the court where they believe their rights are likely to be breached. He also reminded the judges that the Charter of Rights and Freedom had shifted the burden from the citizen to prove that their rights were breached to the state to explain why the breach was demonstrably justified in a democratic society. The Clark will conclude his arguments this morning at 9:30. The prosecution is expected to open its case for a retrial today. The team is being led by Acting Director of Public Prosecutions, Claudette Thompson. Addressing Justices MacDonald Bishop, Williams, and Fraser, one of the entertainer's lawyers, Isaac Buchanan, said his client is physically and mentally unwell. Therefore, Buchanan submitted he cannot stand a retrial. Buchanan read from medical reports and affidavits which indicate that the self-styled world boss is suffering from Graves' disease. Kartel's son, Adidja Jaheim Palmer, had raised the issue of the weakness of his father's heart in his own affidavit, but the judges had struck the reference from his filing. Isaac Buchanan submitted to the court that in addition to the physical toll of the trial and appeal process, Kartel is also suffering serious mental effects. A report tendered by Dr. Gregory Walcott highlights that Kartel is suffering from anxiety and mental weakness. This weakness reportedly developed as a result of the ordeal of the legal process. Vybz Kartel, whose given name is Adidja Palmer, Sean Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John, are seeking to convince the Court of Appeal to reject the state's effort to retry them for the 2011 murder of Clive Lizard Williams. The men's 2014 convictions were overturned by the UK-based Privy Council as a result of significant jury issues during the trial. The Privy Council has charged the Court of Appeal to determine whether there should be a retrial.